but I do want to get into the conversation that is currently the hot topic of the day, and that is the advertising for this game. Now, Fuzzy, I have Aaron Greenberg's tweet. Now, let me just, for context, he tweeted this on May 3rd, 2024. It has 701,000 views. People are looking forward to this game. So today is, again, I'm no mathematician, it's the 10th. So a week has gone by, right? I know there's been some tweets out from Xbox about some static, pictures of Senua. That's certainly not enough. But I'm going to read to you what Aaron Greenberg said verbatim, and then obviously we're going to have a conversation. We are officially 11 days away from the game releasing. I don't specifically know. I'm not an advertisement guy. I don't know marketing. I don't have a degree. I'm a knucklehead podcaster. Me personally, I wouldn't start advertising too far out because people forget. But we're getting close where you kind of want to maybe have 10 days in front of you and do Marketing Blitz 101 because you want everyone to know this game is coming. Put out a review, put out a trailer, put out another never before seen trailer on YouTube, on X, on Twitch. Put it here, there, and everywhere. Throw it out on Instagram. Throw it out on whatever your favorite service is. Get it out there. Put it on Times Square. Get it rolling there so people walk by and look, what is this? They need to do that. So, Fuzzy, again, I'm going to read verbatim exactly what Greeny had to say. And he says, had a great review with the team leading our big global and regional marketing plans to support Senua Saga Hellblade 2. It all starts next week, which, of course, here we are. We're here next week. I haven't seen much of it, but again, we will cover it. He goes, it all starts next week as we optimize leading up to launch and beyond. So many fun, creative plans. Here are just a few. And he has the check marks: global paid media campaign on TV. Cinema launch program, meaning that when you go to see your next film, it's going to be there in one of the trailers. Out of home advertising. Now, I've never actually heard that. I'm assuming that means places like a Times Square, like that. I suppose that, you're going to see it here, there, and everywhere. Brand partnership. Special activation from Iceland, which I'm not sure what that means, but maybe that's when the game launches, plus so much more. And he finishes, Fuzzy, excited to share more and celebrate this immersive and visually stunning masterpiece from the team at Ninja Theory. In the meantime, you can wishlist it, pre-order, pre-install on Xbox Game Pass, on PC and Steam to get ready for the big launch on May 21st, 2024. Let's get your hot take on this. So, I mean, because again, it's like the boo birds are out, and obviously the one thing I will say about the community that has a distaste for Xbox is once they get a hold, they just don't want to let go, and then everything that they do is just a shit show. Now, we are 11 days away from launch. I think they have more than enough time to put out exactly what has been depicted here by Aaron Greenberg. Let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, this one I kind of have like mixed feelings on, and I put it probably one of my more spicy posts on Twitter with.
I saw it. I loved it. I'm being honest.
They finally did the post with the date, and we all can admit that seems like you're just sending it in kind of thing. It felt underwhelming, but it's still, some of the marketing and based on what Aaron Greenberg was saying, that isn't everything that's on that list. That has nothing to do with any of the stuff that he had on the list. So people jumped on that and had all kinds of criticisms, which I get it. Like, you're excited for the game. You want them, especially after hearing about the Tango closing, you want them to really push this game so there's not a closing of Ninja Theory kind of thing. But some of those same individuals are the same ones that would put clips and their own video stuff out there, almost doing the advertising. And I it's not that I had enough, but I'm like, do you want them to advertise or not? Like, this isn't what Aaron Greenberg talked about. So if you don't want them to advertise, even if it feels like it's the least of what they can do, I get it. But like, if you're going to complain about it, but yet you were the same ones, certain individuals were the same ones that would make like 4-minute videos, hyping up the game, just start posting some of those. Like if you can do better, go ahead and do better. Like it's one or the other. It's like they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. If they advertise, people are going to complain, well, that's not enough. If they don't advertise, well, where's the advertising? I hope we can be a little bit more patient. Now, I know there's a lot of people looking over at Team Blue. Like, yes, if you look at Twitter, Team Blue, for a third party exclusive or second party exclusive with Stellar Blade, they tweet several times a day, 4 days in a row before the game launches and stuff. I get it. Like, Xbox should probably do that, or at least do some of that. But they also try to give some space for the indies that they had deals with that they put into Game Pass or that are now available on the service. So yes, they should highlight their own stuff, but they need to also highlight the people that they've partnered with and made agreements to get them in the service and stuff like that. So there's a give and take. And based on what Aaron Greenberg said before, like the week prior, since those things don't really seem like it was the social media scope, I don't know why everybody wanted to jump down their throat. I get it. Like even Opera, the other browser that only a handful of people use, was like, oh, I didn't know Xbox cut their marketing team, or closed their marketing team. But it's we've all had criticisms of their marketing, but Xbox doesn't seem to do the same things that other platforms do when it comes to marketing. And while that may not sound like the answer we want to hear, it's been the truth for over the past decade, if not longer, where except for like Halo, which they tried to market that and then it didn't get released in the time frame that they wanted, so they had to scale everything back or delay everything, even though some of those partners had the chips and drinks and stuff out there that you could see and get the points for that you really couldn't use because the game wasn't out. I don't know if they're gun shy and doing stuff extra early like they did with that, or if it's just a matter of they don't have their finger on the pulse quite like some of the other brands that people are familiar with, whether it be your Apples or your Sony and PlayStation or your Google or Meta or any of them. It is what it is. But I would say if you don't like their marketing or advertising, the best thing that you can do as a fan of the game, a fan of the studio, a fan of the brand, is once you have that game in hand, post your clips, post your screenshots, talk it up in forums. I mean, yes, we're not getting paid for any of this, but like you can criticize them. And we've been doing that for umpteen years, and we've only seen minimal changes on the marketing aspect. We've seen huge changes on how they do showcases. So that they've learned. But the marketing aspect doesn't seem like it's going to change anytime soon, no matter how loud or how often we complain. So it's either we do the marketing for them or we just chalk it up as it is what it is kind of thing. But I'm excited for the game nonetheless, whether they market it or not. That's not for me to worry about. I'm just here to be subscribed to Game Pass, possibly buy this thing later on when it comes on or goes for a little bit deeper discount than the initial 10% or 15% or whatever, and then have the game where I own it type of deal. But I'll be posting screenshots and then some gameplay and stuff like that. But the marketing, yes, it's underwhelming, but they've done this with, I would say probably the best job they've done with marketing so far has been Starfield, and that it wasn't to everybody's liking completely. Me being a big fan of Forza, I would say the marketing was way underwhelming. But once again, it's been like that for umpteen years, so it's nothing new for Xbox.
It's unfortunate. Again, you're right. The marketing for Starfield was on another level. It was one of their biggest games. I mean, I understand it's made by a smaller team. What was it? 40 people worked on this game. I think this is just me. It is one of the most important games coming out this year. I stand by that. I think it's one of the most important games for next generation as a whole. But I'd even go as far as to say, Fuzzy, I think it's the most important game for Xbox, period. Because remember, it's their first big one in 2024. We were made to believe that they have so many games that there's going to be one per quarter. Well, there has not been one per quarter. This is their first big AAA bomb. It should be brought out to the masses as best as it could. And again, remember, they're still 11 days away. They could prove me wrong, and just we start seeing it here, then everywhere. When I turn on my TV and you see the advertisement for it, that's how you're gonna know then it's in full swing. I have not seen that as of yet. I get advertised. I got a ton of advertisement on my TV. The minute I turned it on, bloop, there. Oh, Starfield! Look at that. That's just crazy. I'm hoping that happens. Let me, Kevin, before I bring you in, brother, let me just catch up on Super Chats because we have a big bomb here. Let's see. Wonderful thing. Okay, so Gamers Play HUD Zero. Kind sir, welcome to the program and thank you for the ridiculous generosity. He has been a channel member for 30 months. He goes on to say, hey, Boom, remember when we wanted a Sunset Overdrive sequel? Indeed, we sure do. I still want one, even if it's on PlayStation only. I don't care. Hi-Fi Rush was 10 times more successful, and yet still. Money won over fans, or money over fans. We didn't learn from Atari? Yeah, question mark. I mean, man, you're 1,000% right. How did we get here is the question. How do we live in a world where a game gets shadow dropped, barely advertised, gets over 3 million players, wins awards out the ass, and that studio no longer exists? What kind of world are we living in? I am, listen, I said it, I'm bamboozled, I'm perplexed, I'm dumbfounded. It's one of those things I will never be able to digest, that studio doesn't agree. I don't care about direction. John Johannes is a leader. He is a visionary. Maybe he's not as visionary for you as Mikami was, because let's face it, that dude's legendary. He created one of my favorite franchises in the history of my gaming in 40 plus years in Resident Evil. That's hard to follow. But if they don't retain that dude, I'm telling you right now, PlayStation will give him a studio and he'll be making PlayStation games. They probably have already called him. I hope that he is retained some way, somehow, but I don't think so. I think his studio is closed and that poor guy is going to go off and that's going to be it. And that's just, it's just gross, man. It just really is. Giggity 08. What's up, brother? Welcome back to the program. He has been a channel member, folks, for 4 months. He goes on to say, imagine what the media is going to be like when Xbox announces their next acquisition. That's a phenomenal, it's a great theory, bro. I haven't even thought about that. And I don't see that happening. Like the thoughts and the theories that I had about them getting IO and potentially a Sobo and maybe bringing in Crystal D and Eidos Montreal, I think all those plans have been sent to Hades, to be honest with you. And you know what? People would be right to give them the criticism if they do announce another big acquisition, because who's going to lose their job next, right? That's what's going to be the running thing, unfortunately. Hey, Blinken drops. Hey, what's up, brother? Thanks so much, of course, for being here, and of course, thank you for the continued support. He drops a very generous $10 super chat, and he goes on to say, Mr. Boom, you are a great role model. Dude, that's very kind of you. To the community, keep up the authenticity. Fuzzy agrees. That's very kind of you to say. But listen, this is what you see is what you get. There's no hidden agendas. This is how I was as a cop. They called me officer friendly. You don't walk a beat in New York City in the Bronx and get called officer friendly because you're a dick. I grew up in, see, for me, a little pinch of information. I went back, and this is a story you'll never hear because bad news sells more papers than good news. The precinct that I spent 21 years in, I grew up as a kid in the projects there. I went back to the high school that I graduated in '89 as the youth officer. Being in that community, helping those people is why I swore in '94. And how I was there is exactly how I am here on the show. What you see is what you get. There is no hidden agendas. It's no doing this for money. I love this community. Absolutely adore. And that's why I work 5 days a week and technically sometimes 7 to bring you good content. So thank you so much for the very kind words and the very generous super chat. And talking about generosity, Dragon Wolf, holy cow, this is crazy. He has gifted, ladies and gentlemen, 20 double barrel gaming memberships. Bro, that's just crazy. So thank you so much, Dragon Wolf, for that outstanding generosity. And folks, please, if you did get one of those subscriptions, thank this man. That is phenomenal. He also has a member chat here. He goes on to say, after being a channel member himself for 4 months, back in work, Boom, got laid off after 21 years at the man, dude, I'm so sorry to hear that. Years, then found out I had the big C. Bro, I cannot believe that. That is awful. Spent 18 months getting treatment. Now now he's all in the clear. Upwards and onward and upward. Bro, first of all, I'm so glad that you're still here. Obviously, thank goodness that you found what you had and that you were able to beat it after 18 months of treatment. Brother, my heart goes out to you, and that's generosity, but you don't have to do that. You're here. That's all we need. So thank you so much for being here. And of course, thank you for the generosity. And I always get this name wrong. Fuzzy, can you help me out over here? It's HJU. It's Julia. Is that how it is? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's Julia. I think the H is silent. Julia. Yeah. Welcome. Thank you for being a channel member. Holy crap. For 32 months. That's very generous of you. We super appreciate it. He goes, have a good weekend. Well, have a great weekend for you. Hopefully you're enjoying gaming. No matter where you enjoy gaming, just, game on, as they say. Kevin, let's talk about this. The marketing. We have a roadmap from Greeny. He is the head of marketing. He gets a lot of criticism because, like Fuzzy knocked it out of the park, they just don't seem to learn, man. I think what we want is Xbox marketing to become Sony. Now, in a vacuum, it sounds great. One of the things, and again, I know, don't throw the virtual tomatoes at me, folks, but the truth is that no one markets like PlayStation. Like, they're the market leader for a freaking reason, and their marketing is just ridiculous. The Stellar Blade marketing, and Fuzzy was right on this, is 4 times a week, and it's nonstop. And it's a third-party game. Now, granted, it's an exclusive, and it's their best exclusive so far this year outside of Helldivers. Whether you agree, you don't, it's important to them. That you'd love to see that happen with Microsoft. But again, I really think it is going to start showing up as of today. We heard some things yesterday. It was in some movie theaters. We know, again, it was on a front page of a Spanish magazine, which is a big deal. Kevin, let's talk about it. The roadmap. Do you believe it? Don't you believe it? What do you think? When are we getting the full-throated marketing for Hellblade 2?
I think the train left the station today. I don't know if you guys have already saw. There was the Psychosis video that
I
just
saw
came
that you
out.
dropped into the. Yes, that was on YouTube. Yes, excellent. Yep. Yes,
brand new, fresh. Just came out today. Amazing video too. I mean, we all know kind of what Psychosis is, but they really deep dive into the neuroscience behind it. It's a great video to watch. It really empowers Senua as a hero, and as a video game character and stuff like that. So absolutely amazing video. Please go watch it. But this is something that Xbox has been doing, as far as I can remember, since at least Gears in 2019. It's always been about a 3-week to 2-week previous, before game launches. And I know people want marketing like Sony, but also look at Sony's costs. We talked a little bit about it earlier on. They balloon their costs with low margins. I mean, they're doing a giant hammer or axe in London. They're, doing these Spider-Man webbed little setups, pop-ups here all around the world. That's a ton of money that's going into something that sure looks nice, but what is the return on that? And that's the thing I think that we really got to start understanding is I think Xbox is letting developers market the games they want. I know people, people are like, oh, well, like we said, Xbox, Phil Spencer said, we're letting developers do the creativity that they want. Well, that also comes with marketing. Do you really want somebody to have this cookie cutter commercial that everybody will get to see, that everybody, sure, it's hitting spots, but does it really have soul behind what the developer wants to portray with their marketing? Like, look at the Hellblade stuff. They're so in depth with the psychosis. They're so, with who Sonoa is and the mental disability, things that she has, that they're able to do these videos like that this morning that really give the game life, that really show what Hellblade is. You're not going to get that with somebody that you hired from a PR firm to market out to everybody else. That's just something I think that you can't have it both ways. Do you want Xbox to give developers creativity to market their games and develop them how they want? Or do you want them to be like Sony with these high, crazy margins? They're spending all this money shutting down studios because they're spending all this money on marketing and not doing the games. It's this balance. But I really do think the train's left the station. Hellblade 2 is awesome. I cannot wait for that to release. But yeah, that's just kind of how I look at it. It's always been about 2 weeks before with Gears. So I think Starfield was different because it was Bethesda publishing. And sure, I think maybe Xbox is doing some of the marketing here for Hellblade, but I really think it's Ninja Theory leading that charge. So you got to ask yourself, do you want developers to market the game, or do you want suits to market the game that are going to balloon their costs, not see the return that they might not get? Now you're looking at a studio closure. So how, pick a side, pick a lane. I personally love that developers get to market the games they want. They get to have soul with them. So I'm more for the way that Xbox is doing it. Sure, it's not the way that I think there's a lot of work to be done there with marketing, especially their global reach. But I think they're learning and they're adapting and they're trying to really bring to life and really get to that marketing that is hitting people in the right ways. Just not, here's a blanket, we're going to cover you all with it. If you don't like it, too bad. I really want to think they want people to play the games that they want to play, that they see, and that they actually invest and want to put time into. And you only get that because of the developer putting the heart and soul behind these marketing campaigns to do that.
That's a great point. The psychosis video that he's referring to, if you're interested, I can drop the link in the chat. It's 23 minutes. It's a bit of a watch. I've watched the first half of it. It's incredibly powerful. Obviously, I got to be here on time for the show. So once the show is done, I will watch it because I want to see it on the big screen. I could watch it while people are talking, but I really want to pay attention to it so I can give my honest opinion about what I saw. If there's one thing that we know about Ninja Theory, the illness known as psychosis, they take incredibly serious. They have had consultations from not only people that have psychosis, but they have also sat down with physicians in the medical field to understand this disease further. They take it incredibly serious. And you have to love that about the studio, that this is not just a game. It is a statement. That not only are we playing Senua, not only are we on this journey with her, not only does it look absolutely astoundingly real, but we all are also on a journey with her through her mental psyche. It's pretty powerful and pretty incredible what Ninja Theory has done. I want to see this game go to everyone. Now, is everyone going to like this game? Probably not. It is very, very serious. I mean, again, people wanted this game to be the next God of War. I think you're going to get combat. I think you're going to get open world or semi open world areas where you're going to be looking for different things and you're going to be traveling on this journey. But there's a lot of seriousness that comes with this conversation, and I love it. I love that it's not just another God of War. Even though God of War is amazing, this is not that. And I'm glad. I'm glad that they are just telling the story of Senua. I don't know if this is going to be a trilogy. I would imagine so, but we will see. Logan Meyer, let's bring you in, kind sir. But before we actually do that, we got to do two things. One, announce the two winners for the games, and of course the two super chats that popped in here from Traybone 408_. He drops not one but $2 super chats. In the first one, he says, "What happened to letting them do business and we play games?" I mean, you're not wrong, but again, it's just because we're in it. We want to see this game succeed, and we want to see them push the marketing to another level that's not really known for Xbox. I think if you're an Xbox user, you know about this game. We've known about it for years, since 2019, since it was unveiled at the Game Awards. We all knew about it. I am hoping the casual audience will see this game and be like, and again, I think where you're going to see this game really succeed is not so much, not saying that it's not going to succeed on Xbox. I think you're really going to see it like do some massive numbers on PC. That's the whole day and date thing, where it's on PC and on Xbox at the same time. It's something Sony is learning that they have to do. I don't know if they'll ever get there. You're going to see some big numbers on Steam. His second very generous $2 super chat, he goes on to say this: Sony is a movie company. They're used to the marketing stuff. Yeah, I mean, you're right. They certainly are. That's who they are in their core. So that's why their games look the way they are, right? They're very movie-esque, right? And that's because, well, Sony Pictures, they make films, and they have a whole studio that takes these games after they're done and makes them as pretty and beautiful as they are. That's just Sony for you. So the two winners, okay, so the first winner for the Zhao Tales of Kanzara is Sin. What's up, brother? You won a copy, a global copy, thanks to EJ Jackson in the chat. So thank you so much for the donation, EJ. We super appreciate that. And of course, Sin, you let me know, reach out to me via email, via DM, via Xbox Live, and I'll send you the code right over. And the second winner of the Fallout 76 worldwide code, thanks to Sith Lord in the chat, is Prince Green. Was picked by the picker. Again, I don't pick them, folks. I just well, if you do the hashtag, you're entered. So Prince Green, reach out to me, brother. Again, DM, email, or Xbox Live. I'll send you over the code. Congratulations to the two winners, and thank you so much again to for Sith Lord and EJ Jackson for giving us these donations. Very kind of you. Logan Meyer, let's talk about it. Greeny has already put out there that this is the path that they're taking for, and it's pretty stout in my opinion. It is very detailed. So obviously, thanks to Kevin, we do know that the marketing has officially started. They dropped a 23-minute video that I think everyone should check out regarding the psychosis of what is going on with Senua. I've watched half of it. I'm going to watch the second half. I'm probably going to just sit down and just start it all over again to watch it through its inception. Where do you kind of sit with the marketing on Hellblade so far, and what are you expecting?
Well, I really appreciated that he went out and went, show me the data, and he's like, all right, here you go. And he basically brought out the chart and was like, all right, this is all we're going to be doing. And he broke it down into finer details and points. Like, we're going to start here. We're going to go to this region. We're going to have a campaign here. We're going to start Twitter stuff here. We're going to have, viral campaigns there and stuff like that. Like, that to me, was to address specifically a lot of criticism they've received, and rightfully so, for how they've marketed some stuff in the past. And the actual stuff that's come out so far, I've been impressed with. The Psychosis video looks awesome. I'm gonna dive in after the show. Um, like Hellblade to me personally, from an excitement standpoint, is my most anticipated game. Like since it was announced back at Game Awards with the reveal of the Series X. Like I love Ninja Theory. I've always said that they punch above their weight. They are they're a smaller studio, but man, they land a knockout punch when they put something out there. And like a bunch of their games that they made were when they were even smaller, and they may have had some graphical or some technical, hiccups here and there, but like Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, Heavenly Sword, the original Hellblade, like they did a DMC game, and then like even before they were Ninja Theories, they did that Kung Fu Chaos thing. Like they've done a lot of
man.
really interesting stuff. And to me, they're like the A24, or like the kind of like the art house studio for Xbox.
Yep.
Like, people always love Kojima, or because he does his own thing, and you may not understand what on earth is happening or what is going on. But you're like, you know what? Like, I dig this. Crabs on a beach. I'm delivering packages. There's so much symbolism. Or this, we got mech suits and time travel, or the geopolitical Earth Crusade thing, or whatever. It's like, all right, I can revive with that. It's different. It's like this is a Kojima experience, whether you are traditionally a fan or not. You're in for something different and unique and truly special. And to me, like Ninja Theory, like I know there's a lot of concern, and I understand the concern about the security of some places, but to me, I think Ninja Theory is more insulated, in my opinion, than some of the others.
I agree.
One, they were one of the first studios they bought when they started their buying spree back in, I think, 2018. It's been
2018, yeah, they announced it in E3 2018, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
yeah, and so they've been working on this for a long time. And there's that face palming quote we got from the Matt Booty thing from about we need smaller titles that bring us prestige and awards and stuff like that. Like, who fits the bill of that? Senua Saga is to me what is going to be that. Like I said, this feels like an art house studio game. Like they've gone all in on mocap. They have, people going to Iceland and like videographing and scanning these environments in high detail. They have like hardcore combat, like training stuff, like all suited up. Like they work with the University of Cambridge and other experts in the psychological field and people who have suffered from this illness and similar illnesses. Like they've worked with historians for accuracy on things. Like to me, this is an all out, like, go big or go broke type experience, boiled down into a smaller narrative. That hours thing doesn't bother me at all, because
Not me either.
like, to be blunt, like there are some movies or some games or some topic matters that frankly you would be overloaded or feel like dark and just not in a great place if you had a ton of hours of that. Like this is heavy subject matter. This is
Indeed.
not, like a fun little platformer, or a like a goofy action film, like just a fun Godzilla monster mash thing where you can play like hours upon hours upon hours or something like that. Like this is serious. Like you're experiencing her anguish and her suffering and trying to overcome these things. And like even the combat, like my goodness, that is brutal. Like
Yeah.
not trying to make it a deal about goriness or whatever, but like, there's a difference between, like, as someone who, as people who've gamed a long time, like there's a difference between like a hack and slash, like you're just like spamming A and you're jumping around like a spider monkey on Mountain Dew, you're just like whacking all these creatures or whatever, versus like this, she's like sidestep, thrust, like stab, pierce, or like has a heavy weapon and like slams down and like crushes something or tears into something, or like she kicks, or it's like heavily one-on-one personalized. And so you add that on top of it, like, to me, I would be totally cooked if I had to play a really long time of this kind of narrative or experience. So to me, the price, the hours, no big deal at all. I know what I'm getting. This is like a cinematic and hardcore visionary masterpiece type game that is going for the award circuit. Like, oh my word, what did I just experience? Like, this is truly something special, like type game. And I know it's not the, a semi open world or big open world, 40 plus hours where you got to go fetch quests and other stuff thrown in to expand it out. Like, to me, I'd much rather a smaller, tailored experience that goes all out and they know what they want to do and they nail it, S tier game, than some soulless husk game that gets stretched out just so that they can have some more fetch quests or like other collectible type hunts or stuff like that just to pad the hours. Like, I know this has been long-winded and I'm sorry, but I'm super excited for it. I had the original as one of the most important games of last generation because of its impact and what it did from a cultural and philosophical and, you know, standpoint outside of just gaming. So I'm all in on this. I think the marketing will be good. I hope they go all out on it because it deserves it. But at the end, I'm not concerned and I'm day one.